Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Einer, and I'm here to help you learn how to quit that JOB, that just over broke job, by investing in real estate rental property so you never, ever have to work a job, those horrible jobs, ever again. Now, today, I'm super excited to bring on somebody who actually invests in California. And we know California is very expensive, and it's hard to make passive income from those properties, but I am bringing on somebody who has actually done it and is going to show you how you can do it as well. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate rental properties with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Now, I'm super excited that you are here with me on the podcast. And you know what's been great is I love working with all of the people that listen to the podcast. And what's super cool is I get so many people that join the Real Estate Wealth Builders membership, where I do group coaching, getting me one-on-one coaching, even just being a part of, getting my 1-minute green light deal analyzer, things like that, all from the podcast. So I'm really, really appreciate you guys being here on the podcast. And I'm super pumped also that we may be actually able to get together and have a meetup. Now, I've been thinking about doing a meetup or something where I say, hey, everybody, come hang out with me, Master Passive Income, and all the students for quite a long time now. And if you've been listening to the past few episodes here at the Master Passive Income Show, I've talked about developing an actual conference. Well, it has actually come to fruition. I have the hotel now set up. I'm getting a huge discount on the hotel rooms. I am actually creating an entire conference. And get this, I have 19 different speakers, different investors who are influencers that have their own, community and audience and everything. And I'm creating a big meetup for all of us, like literally all of our audiences literally getting together and learning from each other, building a community. I am super pumped about that. Now, you can absolutely get your tickets now. And before I give you the where to go, because you can check in the description where to go, but I want to give you my discount. Like, just because you're my podcast listener, I want you to use the promo code Dustin. Very, very simple, obviously. Dustin, D-U-S-T-I-N. Use that promo code and you will get $50 off whichever ticket package you want. What's great about this conference, it is a no sales pitch conference. It's literally, let's get together, let's network, let's learn from all these great investors, ones that have literally quit their jobs because they invest in real estate. I have so many great people. Now check out the conference. In the description will be the link, but also if you go to www.rewbcon.com, rewbcon.com, rewbcon.com. Check it out. You can see all the speakers that are coming. All, like I said, my friends, they're going to be bringing their audience. I'm going to go on their podcast to encourage them and their audience to come, but they're also promoting it to their audience. So you're going to meet other great investors, ones that do multifamily syndication, Airbnb. Actually, I have like 2 or 3 awesome Airbnb influencers that are going to be sharing how to do Airbnb, tax accountants for real estate, so many great things, passive income. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be March 10th through the 12th, 2022, here in Phoenix. It's beautiful here. And this conference is all about hanging out, networking. Of course, we have sessions, teaching things, but we're also going to be getting together. I'm going to have literally an entire room set up for meetups where, like, let's say, all Master Passive Income, let's go meet up at this hour. We're all going to hang out. So I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be literally around. It probably comes across, but I'm definitely an extrovert. And so I love talking to people. I'm super pumped to meet you and everybody else. So you can go ahead and get your tickets. And at the same time, you will be able to book your hotel room. If you wouldn't got your hotel room right now for March in this specific hotel, it's peak season in March, and it'd be like $380. But I'm getting this hotel for you for $229. And so you can get your hotel rooms at a super huge discount. It's going to be in Phoenix, which is beautiful. But here's the crazy thing. Now, I got to tell you this. My goodness. Being able to sign a contract with a hotel, I'm literally on the hook for $100,000. Like, let's say everything falls apart, nobody shows up. I literally have to pay the hotel $100,000. And I'm kind of giving you the ins and outs of a conference, putting on a conference, which I'm learning pretty quick. But the hotel literally says you have to pay a minimum or buy a minimum of $25,000 in food and beverage. I'm like, what? $25,000? Do I have to feed them like first breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, afternoon snack, like tea, crumpets, all that, scrumpets? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and dinner. So anyways, we're going to have so much food there. But what's also ridiculous, they charge 25% service charge on top of the $25,000. Oh my goodness. So I'm just praying I don't lose money on this conference. And I mean, it's going to be great hanging out with you guys too. I mean, that's ultimately, you know what? It's only money, and life is only getting shorter and shorter as we go through life. And building a community is something that I love to do. And so having a community of other investors, not just Master Passive Income. Remember, this is not a Master Passive Income branded event. This is literally its own thing. The Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. It's literally going to be all of us influencers, 20 of us, getting together and bringing all of our knowledge, audiences, and building a community. Now, if you ever go to a conference, and this is what I do normally in all the conferences I go to, I rarely even go to a session. Unless a friend's speaking, I don't go to the session. But what I do go for conferences is to meet people. My business gets so much better. All my businesses get better when I meet more people. I learn how to do things better. I connect where we might even invest together, where we partner. I would say partner because I don't partner, but like they have deals that I might buy from them. They might lend me money at a interest rate, be like a private money lender. You will be amazed at how much of a benefit it is just to be around other fantastic investors. All right, man. So I'm just pumped about it. I just can't stop talking about it because it's just fun. I get to build. I love building things. I'm a builder. I love building things, building Master Passive Income, building my real estate investing business. I have Successfully Unemployed, building that. Now building the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. Very, very fun. And I want you to be there. So go to rebcon.com and get your tickets right now. Get your hotel as well. Block that out. And Lord willing, I'm going to be able to do this every single year. I already have at least probably 30 or 40 of the students from the Real Estate Wealth Builders membership that I have in Master Passive Income. They're going to be there. That are awesome investors are going to be there too. And in today's show, I actually have one of my students coming on to share how he invested in California, or still invests in California. We all know California's crazy high, but he is doing it very successfully, and he's going to walk us through how he did it. And remember, I always have my real estate investing course for you to get for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777, and I'll give you my real estate investing course completely for free. Show you how to find an area of the country to invest, how to make it automatic, how to make sure you're making $250 or more every single month, how to build a business and be successful. All right, let's jump into today's show where I interview one of my students, Jay Martinez, who lives in Sacramento and is fantastically investing in California. All right, let's do this. Jay, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, Jay, so it's fantastic that you have been able to start investing in real estate. Now, you haven't always done investing in real estate, but eventually, you started getting turned on the idea of investing in real estate. So what happened in your life that made you kind of get the catalyst, say, I'm going to do it, and then start getting into investing in real estate?
It sort of happened by happenstance, and I'll try to give you sort of a condensed version of it all. I kind of did the traditional route for a while. I grew up with my mom and dad in Fresno, California. I think you know where that's at. Grew up over there, and then eventually moved out to Sacramento. My dad was always in the landscape contracting business, and so I sort of, from a younger age, kind of had that little bit of an entrepreneurial sort of itch in me. But I wasn't too sure, about how I would kind of go about in my life. And so I kind of continued on, went through the traditional route again, went to college, went through Sacramento State. After I went to that, still wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. And so just sort of, kind of in limbo for a while. And so after, deciding and sort of praying and trying to figure out what I would do next, I decided to get into the landscape contracting industry. And so that really was a good fit because it really had a good entrepreneurial type of feel to it. It was an opportunity to sort of be your own boss in a way and build your own path and kind of find success that way. And so kind of getting back to your original question as to, how I came about, real estate really was sort of kind of, I don't know if it's coincidence or happenstance, whatever you want to believe, but I really ran into your first book a couple of years back, which was Successfully Unemployed. And Yeah, and so really I found that book and it really just struck a chord in me. I was reading that along, some of the Robert Kiyosaki series, and I'm like, man, this is just a huge opportunity. I almost felt it was too good to be true to be able to sort of think like this would be possible. So I sort of fell through that rabbit hole a couple years back. I think 2018 it was, and I started to get into my first real estate deal from there.
That's great. Now, it's interesting that you found Successfully Unemployed as a book because I've written a couple books, and most times people say, "Well, I found your book, the How to Quit Your Job with Rental Properties," and it got them over the hurdle. And I'm really glad that you read Successfully Unemployed because that was all my lessons that I learned as I was quitting my job. Like, hey, there's some things that I learned. Maybe it could help you too. So, really glad that you found that. Now you have a landscaping business, and so you're working in that, which is terrific. And on top of that, you have experience in real estate. Now, talk to us about like we started. You got in my course, and you started learning. Talk to us about how going through the course helped you to actually get the courage and education to be able to buy that first property.
As I read your book, and then also How to Quit Your Job Rental Properties too. So sort of read through that, and I found as someone who was just a beginner to this and didn't have any really friends or colleagues that did anything like this, I felt like for me, I wanted more education, and no better way to do it than to look further into your online in your online program there. And man, it was just such a great investment. It was just very organized, just had, step by step on how to go about this. And so I said, well, great. This is a great first step is really educating yourself. And that sort of correlated well with what I read with the Kiyosaki series too. It's saying, you got to educate yourself. That's that first step. You got to know what you're doing. And so that really sort of came together, and so with that, I was able to buy my first property there. It was in Sacramento, and so I kind of that was a little bit of a different path, but I decided to commit to it and just go with Sacramento because I was comfortable with it, and I knew I could, I knew the areas and whatnot. So it was a little bit different, but it worked out really well. Got that rented out, and I got it at a really good deal because I was looking at some foreclosures, but as a contractor, I'm able to sort of, I kind of use those skills to kind of fix it up, piece by piece. And so again, a little bit different than some of the great information that you give, but I kind of molded it to what I was good at and what I was comfortable with. And it certainly worked out, and so I've sort of followed the step by step and got guided well into that first deal.
Yeah, and a lot of things that I love to do is investing out of state, but at the same time, investing right around you. So what I love to give is the principles as well as the step by step to do it, because you can do this business anywhere, like literally anywhere that somebody's going to be living. Then you could do it. Like Antarctica, it'd be really hard to do this business down there. But if you're going to be investing anywhere, it doesn't matter where you live. You can invest in your backyard, invest thousands of miles away in another state. I even have students that live like in Switzerland or Canada that invest in America as well. So you can literally do this anywhere. So, but it's the principles that we need to implement into our business to make sure we're making passive income. Now, that first property you bought in 2008, now that's almost 2022 now. It's probably got a good amount of appreciation, even though we don't invest for appreciation. I know my rents have gone up, which is also another fantastic thing. So tell us, so in Sacramento, you got your first property there, and can you tell us about like what was the type of property, single family home, duplex, and purchase price, and then how much you were able to rent it out for?
So yeah, it was a home in the Arden area of Sacramento, and so being from the greater Sacramento area, I kind of have a feel and for what type of buyer or renter is sort of in that area. And so that area, it's sort of known for, kind of like the first kind of starter home or like in kind of the younger type of college graduate or working professional may get into. It was a foreclosure, but it wasn't totally, the bones were certainly still there. So, but it did need some things to fix up over time, some flooring, painting, landscaping, which needed to be done. And so I had that third part covered with the landscaping. So I was able to purchase that at $192,000, and it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And the lot was pretty big though, so it was a corner house. I wasn't totally happy with that, but the upside to that was that it did have a bigger lot. So the mortgage was, I think, at that point it was about $1,300 or so for the mortgage. Was able to get it rented at $1,500, and since that point in time, I've been able to increase the rents up, and then also just improve it and create some forced appreciation, which is a good concept I learned out of your book there. So over time, it's grown in value for the appreciation, which is a plus. I've come to learn. I'm more concerned about the overall game plan, which is the rent in it, the rental income and what that will produce. So
Yeah, with this first one, have you thought about, or are you able to? Because hopefully, with the forced appreciation plus with a foreclosure, hopefully you bought it lower than market value, and more than likely now the value is higher. Have you thought about refinancing and doing a cash out refinance where you hopefully get the interest rate lower? It'd be great if you lower the payments, but at the same time, you could probably even do a cash out refinance to put more money in your pocket to buy the next property. And what I love about the cash out refinance is also it's a a tax free loan. And so you're basically tax free to buy another property. So have you thought about doing anything like that?
yes, I'm actually, funny enough that you mentioned. Yeah, I'm actually in the process of finalizing some of my tax returns, and so with that, I'm working with a realtor. I'm sorry, a loan officer here in the greater Sacramento area. She's actually my aunt. So yeah, I'm working with her to sort of refinance into it. And I was pretty surprised that had a good amount of appreciation in there, and so that's kind of the upside to California. I know it kind of has its risks, but I really think if you know California and areas which are prudent to invest in. I still think that there's money here. There's still obviously economy here. It can be a place if you're comfortable with it, and so I've kind of pursued that path.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you bought it in 2018, more than likely, if you bought it for like 190 ish is where you bought it for, and then with the just the market as crazy as it's been recently, it's probably at least closer to 290. I mean, I would think it's probably up there. So what do you think the value is now?
Well, I check, I take, Zillow and Realtor.com with a grain of salt, but it's saying it's somewhere around 400.
Then absolutely, you could take I would say a little bit of money, a good amount of money, pull that out, and if you wanted to invest in another house in Sacramento, or if you wanted to branch out and to get to other areas where you can maybe get lower priced homes, because taking that money and buying it like this house worth $400,000 now, you'd have to spend $400,000 buy another house that's very similar to it. You could also branch out to out of state and build a business there so that you actually also can use this money if you did a cash out refinance to buy that house. So that's great. Now, what's the next steps for you and your business, and how are you going to be continuing to build this?
Other than this property, I was able to close on another property about 6 months ago. With that, I've sort of built that into, of course, my existing business here. I guess at this point in time is really to again refinance that first home that I have, and sort of create another plan to get it again to another property. I just closed on a threeplex a couple months ago. The area, it's kind of more up towards the Placerville area. So great place to be. Really, really beautiful. Really a lot of nature up there, and the culture is just really hardworking, and people have a lot of pride there to work hard and pay their bills, and then I'm kind of all about that too. So I'm interested in continuing sort of to look into the Placerville area, and hopefully sometime next couple months I'll be rolling again and continuing to invest in myself, and no better place than I feel than your program, man. I really accredit your great education. It's just solid, and it's worth every freaking penny. So I also encourage any of your viewers to, if they're on the fence, you just can't go wrong. You really can't.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate that. Tell us of what lessons you might have learned, any problems you might have ran into that like you had to figure out how to get. What can you teach us, or what can you share with us that you've learned going through this process?
Probably two things. The first thing I'd say is that it just sort of takes time to sort of get from A to B. So I would give yourself some time. Don't be too hard on yourself saying, oh, darn it, I didn't get to get a property this year, as far as, the beginnings of it. So I would just sort of just keep a positive mentality and attitude, and really continue to just sort of think through it. You just use your mind to think how you're going to get to that next step. I've always found your podcasts really to be inspiring too, which is awesome. That when I kind of need some inspiration, I go to that too. So the first step would be really to keep a positive mind and a can-do attitude open. Second, as far as like the technicalities, as I closed on my last property a couple months back, I kind of felt I kind of went a little bit too fast. So I would try to do everything you can to just sort of, if you're going through the processes, just sort of look at those inspections, let them simmer, and then look through them again. I'd say maybe look through it 2 or 3 times, because, there's some things I didn't really quite, scrutinize as much as I could. So I'd say really, as far as the technicalities of going through it, is maybe scrutinizing the inspection a little bit. I'm getting a little bit better at that stuff. And I'd sort of just try to take some more time and kind of go through that as much as you can.
I think it's a great idea. And on top of that, I think the first point that you had of not getting frustrated and saying, well, I haven't got my first property. I have plenty of students who do get frustrated after after about a month. They're like, I've been looking at properties. Like, well, easy, like it'll come. And it takes time building that business to where you have I get people sending me deals all the time. And as students start building their business, finding wholesalers, realtors, or I've been told I say realtors wrong, realtors, as well as wholesalers and other investors, like you basically have ways for people to send you deals. Then it starts rolling. Like if you just start doing it within 1 month, it's going to take some time. So frustration, definitely. But then at the same time, I love the idea, Jay, that using your home inspection as a way to obviously get to know your property, understand it really, really well. A tip that I always love to give is after you get that home inspection, and absolutely everybody, you must get a home inspection. Like never buy a house without getting a home inspection. But on top of that, literally call your home inspector and talk with them through the entire thing. Not every line item, but ask them the questions like, what should I be concerned about? I checked out your summary, I checked out the entire thing, but is there anything that stands out to you? From there, Jay, you had a perfect idea. You go back to the seller and say, hey, there are these deficiencies, and literally itemize out the deficiencies, saying this water heater or this furnace or this flooring or whatever it might be, itemize it out. Our goal is as investors is to make the seller pay for that in a sense by saying, give us a credit for whatever these problems are and we'll fix them. Or here's our quote that we got, you can go ahead and get your quote and you can fix them yourself, but these either need to be fixed or we need a credit for them. Hopefully you can take money off of the sell price, bring it down because you're getting the seller to pay for it. So that's another fantastic option. So as you were going through, Jay, you're going through the entire process of buying, now growing your business even more. Any thoughts about how you're going to continually get financing? Because that's always a big question for all of the students that I have is they're always, oh my goodness, like how do we get money to buy these properties? What are your thoughts about financing now for your future properties?
Yeah, I think that's probably the area where I kind of want to educate myself a little bit more on as far as just kind of looking at every single thing, exhausting every option. As far as myself, I'm still sort of using the conventional method of working with a loan officer and sort of, going through that whole process of putting, certain percentage down and getting into the property. I know I could continue that probably a good 2 times or so. I am sort of, considering, some family members that may be interested in doing some real estate too. I may be thinking about taking it really slow or going on a, maybe a smaller type of deal. So I could sort of, show them, what it is I'm doing. And so that's kind of come organically too. They've kind of found that I've done a little bit of investing and they're interested too. I think it's kind of continuing through the traditional route of doing it, but then also trying to sort of get my gears thinking about creative financing. And so that's sort of one other, thing that's in my pocket is maybe fostering a relationship with some of my family members to start with maybe a small deal and work our way up. And then past that, really just continuing to again, educate myself on all the other options that are out there.
Jay, yeah, definitely go through the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System, go in that section of financing. The reason why I put it closer towards the end of the entire course, we go step by step through the process because really it's simple to do this, but there's steps that you have to go through. It's not easy. It's simple, but I usually think that most students want to jump right into financing. Like, how do we finance it? Like, we'll get there. There's so many other things that we need to do. So the section on financing, I have all the different ideas of creative financing, at least 14 or 15 different ways to do creative financing. So definitely go through that. One suggestion is if you've built the business, like we always talk about, and you started an LLC, created an EIN number. An EIN number, if nobody knows what it's, basically the IRS is to give you a tax ID number, just like your social security number for your person. But your business gets its own tax ID and it gets its own credit. You can utilize your business, utilizing your business credit as a way to get financing for your properties. I've done that plenty of times. In fact, I just had 2 students literally just do that now because they built the business first and they have the EIN number. Basically, they're building business credit. And then after, let's say 1 to 2 years, their business credit's built up pretty well because we get the business account set up in the business name and we have money going in and out. That's good credit building. Get a Home Depot credit card just on that one, business credit. That builds up your credit. But then banks look at you as a business now. You have unlimited literally unlimited types of financing there. So that's just one option. Private money is phenomenal. So absolutely keep going down that route of financing. But yeah, check in the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System. Literally give all that stuff out there so that you can figure out what's the best way. Like I could fit this piece and then this piece and then this piece, put it all together to buy a property. Like there's so many different ways, but you don't have to just go with one, like mortgage or private money. Like you can combine them all together. You just got to be creative and try to figure it out. So Jay, that's fantastic. Now, is there anything else that we should know as we're starting to invest in real estate before we get off the show?
I think it's that really, I think you've sort of alluded this in some of your previous podcasts, is that, it's taking that first step and kind of getting it going. I certainly fell into that, like, that attitude where I was like, darn it, when am I ever going to do this like serious, and when am I actually going to get my foot off, off the floor and do it. For me, it's working out because I feel like I could continue to plug into, your podcasts and all the great, packages you have online. And I think that anyone that's out there that's still in that camp, I think, you just have to continue to plug in, keep a great attitude up and it will come. I think that's something that I've learned. I wasn't sure if 100% if I could even pull it off in the very beginning. But now I know, I'm starting to see the light. I definitely know it's possible. And I'm, hoping in a good couple amount of years, I'll be able to grow even more. And I'd love to grow with you too.
That's a great point, because what we want to do is keep moving forward, just one step at a time. And there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of things that we need to do. But as we keep moving forward, just like anything in life, if it's worthwhile, it's going to take some time and effort. But once you get there, my goodness, it gets so much easier. So you're absolutely living proof of that, Jay. Now, Jay, I know I definitely want to have people see, maybe work with you in your business. So what's your landscaping business? Tell us about that.
Landscaping business, it's JVM Landscape Construction. And so you can find us on jvmlandscapes.com, find our website there. And what we do is we do residential design build landscaping. So everything from, your hardscape, from your pavers, retaining walls, all the way up to your landscaping, new trees, irrigation, water features, landscape lighting, you name it. We do it outside. And so, yeah, you can find us there at jvmlandscapes.com. Again, we service the greater Sacramento area, and happy to come out and assess your yard for a free consultation. So,
man, Jay, thank you so much. This has been great information. Hopefully lots of people are going to realize that really everybody can do this. Not just anybody, but everybody can do this. And so we just got to put our efforts in and actually get it done. So Jay, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you, man.
Thanks so much for all your work, and looking forward to the future with with your programming, your podcast. Keep up the great work yourself. I'm always tuning in. And I'm also, looking forward to the conference if you have it there next year.
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm literally working on it right now, and I have the hotel. We almost have it locked in, almost have the contract. So it'll be March 10th in the evening through, so basically 11th and 12th. So it'll be in Phoenix, and I'm just about ready to tell everybody, probably this next episode of the podcast, I'm really going to tell everybody, okay, get your tickets now. Oh man, I'm excited to meet you there too. So that'd be great, Jay. Well, good, Jay. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777, RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. Get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.